So glad you made it. I got a resolution. I'm not going to sing the New Year's song. I don't know the words to Auld Lang Syne, and I'm not interested in trying to pick them up from the drunk person next to me. And the best thing about this, like when you fail a resolution in like the third week of January, I want you to know that at 12:05 a.m. on January 1st, I already completed mine. It's called a SMART goal. Look it up. I'm not your therapist. King James really put all his eggs in one basket. Not with basketball. We're talking to OG with the Bible. He made the King James translation of the Bible, which some churches still insist on using, because using a peer-reviewed translation sounds too much like science. But like if we were all Muslims, we would not remember who King James was. Like even though we're not all Muslims, that infidel is burning in hell. He didn't go for the teachings of Muhammad, peace be on his name. I don't know. We're continuing the autistic block of this comedy show. Which I think you know if you've ever been to a local comedy show in Bozeman ever. Because I've been on the scene the whole time and I've just been amassing a crew. Because autistic people have the best social skills, as we know. I'll see a Facebook post like, oh yeah, is it weird, like if you haven't texted someone for like 6 months and you left them on red, like, but you want to talk to them again, like, what do you say? I'm like, this shouldn't be weird. See, because if you were autistic, you would have worked as a child on your social skills of getting super into stuff so that you can just like always talk about calendars. And then when someone sees a cool calendar and they're like, oh shit, I didn't text Tom for 3 days and then I forgot he existed. That was 6 months ago. You can send me a picture of a cool calendar and I will be stoked. I do the same thing. It's like, oh, I didn't talk to this person until I saw a cool rock. And I sent a picture of it to 3 autistic geologists that I know. Which might be redundant, I don't know. Then they just tell me cool stuff about the rock. Maybe other rocks they found. I just want to hear someone talk about something they're interested in. Not like, talk about your job. I don't care. Oh, how are you getting along with your coworkers, Tom? I mean, I guess I interact with them. I don't really think about it. Yeah, do you want to talk about flags? My favorite one's the flag of Nepal because triangles taste better. That's the flag rule of sandwiches. It's very important. Because all I have to do to make a lifelong friend is like they'll just spend a while telling me about something they love, and then when they're done, I spend a while just loading on facts about something I love. And if you're keeping score at home, after a minimum of 2 whiles, we're friends. And allistic people, you guys, you can't do that. Here's the vocabulary. Allistic just means not autistic. It's on the vocab quiz at the end of the show. The second to last word on the vocab quiz is penultimate. Then you got these autism warrior moms. Oh, fuck. Like, I know about bad moms. My parents are Mormon. And 2 of their kids are stand-up comics and the other 2 are science teachers. Like, my parents were bad at stuff. Most people get to be proud of a teacher. But if you make your whole personality just talking on the internet, how hard it is for you that your kid gets to develop the good social skills, and then you parade around like, don't say the R word. Now, I don't think you should call people retarded, because that's a thing that makes someone feel bad, and I don't like to be mean to people. Now, if there are autistic people in the crowd, someone with a microphone has just given you permission to do something, so I guess you know you can do it now. That's what you guys like. You shouldn't. You always had the power. I didn't give it to you. It's not a better idea now than it was. Don't say the R word. It's like, ma'am, if you're just like, I'm an autism warrior, mom, don't say the R word. You're implying that you think I am the R word as an autistic person. I don't like that. You should not say that because that's our word. I don't know. There were signs. My parents missed them until my mom was reading in my Newsweek subscription. I was 16. I had a Newsweek subscription about it. They called it Asperger's then, which was dumb because kids who might get bullied probably shouldn't sound like Asperger's. That's just fucking softballs. Because you know the autistic kids aren't that creative, so I guess it's good to hand them that one. I don't know. I had a running gag because of internalized ableism, right? I was like, oh, I can't be autistic. Like I make art and I have a job and stuff. And so like whenever my friends would say something like, oh yeah, you going to that Rich Hall show on January 14th, I'd be like, that's a Saturday, I don't have autism. I don't just know that, but I will calculate it out so that I can place in my mind what day of the week a date you say is. Also, yes, I'm opening that show. You can buy tickets. And then my psychiatrist was like, you have autism. I was like, fuck. Ruined my best joke. You. And I just sat down. I went home. I did what I think anyone would do when finding out they had autism. Of course, I don't really know what anyone would do about anything. That's kind of the point. I just rocked back and forth in my chair for a really long time, like a really long time. Just deciding where to post on Reddit about it. Reddit's known for having autistic people. One of the most popular places there is called Am I the Asshole? And it's like a modern Dear Abby. This is where autistic people go for like endgame boss level social situations. And you write down what happened and what you did to see if you were right. And at best, the best possible outcome is that 20,000 other autistic people say you're not the asshole. So that was where I posted first. I am the asshole, it turns out. And yeah, there are support needs in different kind of aspects about disability versus like neurotypes. But a lot of the disabilities is social construct, I think. I'm not saying that autistic people are better or should be in charge of shit. But I think that at some points in human history, autistic people have been in charge. And now, if you've met one autistic person, you've met one autistic person. But if you don't think I can just keep doing this bit for all of my time, you have met no autistic people. Because, like, I think we could get there again if the Christian fascists have their censorship ways. Once upon a time, there were only books about God. That was all the books. I couldn't read about traffic signals or Batman or flags or calendars or birds. If there were only books about God, I might still be way into Mormonism. And if I didn't know any better, I mean, look at like medieval Europe. What do? Go become a priest. Because it's like, oh, there's too many disabled people. We don't want to pay people to not work in a capitalist society. You've always been paying autistic people not to work. Or you just pretend really good. It's called masking. Because it was just like, oh, your special interest is God? Mine too. That's the only thing we have books about. I'm going to go be a monk and spend all day talking to other people who like the same thing I do. All day. We both like the same thing. It's only going to take one while for us to be friends. You understand? Oh, you don't like the feeling of pants on your skin? Well, we got robes. One of the stupidest headlines I've ever seen was a USA Today article in like 2009. It was like, first autistic lawyer passes the bar exam in Florida. No. The whole point of being a lawyer is that there's the law. There's books and books and books that almost all of us don't want to read. But if you want to read it, you can do that all day and then argue professionally about the technicalities. And if you're really good, you can get promoted to judge and wear a robe, no pants, very comfortable clothes. Like we ran whole economies on it. Like, oh, hey, there's this fabric called silk, and it doesn't itch on your skin. All right, we're gonna make people walk to China and bring that back. It's the only thing that we're doing from now on. Just go and argue about. You can write letters to other bishops and things. You don't have to make eye contact. You don't need these made-up social skills. Just gonna have that argument. It's like, oh, did you hear about what Muhammad, peace be on his name, thinks about God? I don't like that. Let's send the peasants on a crusade. What are we gonna do? Oh, we're gonna sit here and work on the recipe for chartreuse. People be drinking that for hundreds of years, reading the King James Bible. It's like Martin Luther was like, I think people should be able to read the Bible for themselves. And that's cool. I found out by spending too much time on Twitter that a lot of Christians don't read the Bible. I was Mormon. We had the Bible. We just kind of skimmed it, you know. Yeah, it was awesome. In robes. Just like, oh, hey, how are we going to impress the peasants today? All right, here's what's up. Bob hasn't talked since last Tuesday when we had green beans instead of peas, even though it was Tuesday. And then he couldn't find his favorite quill. We're going to say he took a vow of silence. They're going to be so impressed because those peasants, we make them do pre-industrial agriculture out in the fields, just back-breaking labor. One raindrop hits them, they gotta say to the guy next to them, it's raining. They won't believe that Bob doesn't need to talk no more. Because they gotta go later and tell someone how they're getting along with their coworkers. Oh yeah, we talked about how it was raining today. Ugh. It's not just the Western world. I mean, like, well, we'll stay in Europe for a minute. Who the fuck do you think invented formal etiquette? Rules for interactions. Yeah, common people. You're not gonna date a nobleman because they've got all these rules that you don't know. Yeah, we made the rules so that we would know what the rules are. It's great. But go to like India. They're doing the same shit. Just like, hey, how many arms would make a really cool god? All those other people are out farming. I'm drawing pictures of cool gods. You know what we gotta do? We got to make sure there's always copies available of this book of how to be good at sex for when you have a arranged marriage. Who would have invented such a thing? I don't know. Well, 1,400 known ancient Egyptian gods. My favorite is Nemti. Now, you might be like, oh, I've heard of like Isis and Amun-Ra. And yeah, they're powerful and everything. Yeah, Osiris, whatever. Nemti is the ferryman. He makes sure that all the other gods get to where they need to go on time. And that speaks to me very, very deeply. It's like, I just wish he had a train. Like, it's the only way it could be cooler than me. You got pharaohs like, hey, I collected all these cool, shiny rocks. You know, I want to be buried with my cool stuff. I collected all this stuff. I like my things. Don't touch my things. We're going to make a cool, like, tomb for me. We're going to have traps and shit so that people can't come and take my stuff. Say, man, do you like triangles? Because I really love triangles. Like, a lot. How big of a triangle do you think I could make? Yeah, you can still see these triangles 4,500 years later. Go get your pocket picked. It's great. And then the next guy, he's like, well, you know, I don't want to make a triangle bigger than my dad's triangle, but I can make the edges steeper and set it up about 10 meters higher so it's going to look taller. And then I'm going to put all my stuff in my cool triangle because it's harder to make because it's steeper. And then also I'm going to make a giant cat and put my own face on the cat. Because, like, we don't want to be in the farm labor or having to build pyramids. We're just over here like Egyptian priests. Like, what do you guys do? We measure every year how much the river floods because we carved it in stone so we can measure that. And then we decide how much taxes there are based on the predictions of agricultural yield. And this is 4,000 years ago. It's impressive. And then we draw our favorite god with a falcon head. And then that's the shit we'll write down because we're the ones who know how to write because we just only write about religion and kings. It's fantastic. I hope this has been educational. I think that will conclude these jokes and we will continue the show. Thank you so much. I'm Thomas Blake.